Well, good morning. The title for today is We Were Tricked, and There Is No Treat Until ... It happened long ago. We were brainwashed by power-hungry priests, diverting our energy to survival rather than creation as our Creator intended. Indeed, we, the entire human race, were tricked into believing we were less than blank, and you fill in the blank. The treat we got was to become treated as slaves. Lies and deception prevailed. There never was a treat given by these charlatans who took over the world. Hopefully their days of control are ending. When they are finally stopped, we will all be able to get the real treat intended in creation, to be free at last. Free at last. Yes, those of us who are waking up understand that we are not free, and we have not been free in a long time. Even in the United States, which is supposed to be the home of the brave and the land of the free, or perhaps it was the other way around with the way the saying went. In any case, when we wake up, we realize how much we are controlled beings. We are controlled in our thinking by advertising, by education, by religion, by everything. As I said in the blurb, it was the priests, according to Anastasia, who started this whole control government grid, and they started it in Egypt. Egypt was the first country that was created in modern civilization, and they worked together so well at one point there that they created the pyramids, etc., etc. But it was controlled by the priests. The priests were the ruling class, and the head priest became known as the pharaoh, again according to Anastasia. And because she's uncontaminated by the education system and uncontaminated by the world that we live in, I tend to believe her view of things more than I believe what we've been told, which is why I don't compare. I mean, I have people still trying to get me to compare what we're experiencing now according to the rules of the Matrix. And I'm sorry, the Matrix to me is irrelevant. I know, for me, I've always wanted to see the world that I envisioned from my childhood, the kingdom of heaven. Whatever that was going to look like, it had to be better than the world that we were living in, although I wasn't aware, of course, when I was younger, just how bad the world was. As I got older, I had more and more experience and realized the corruption that is inbred in the current system, because people were off center and off kilter, and they were the ones that became the ruling class. Just like the priests at the beginning, they weren't as bad at the beginning as what we've developed into the 20th century and the 21st century. But it has really reached an epic proportion where more and more people, even in the United States, or should I say maybe especially in the civilized world where people are better educated than they are in some of the poorer countries of the world, we're waking up. We're starting to see the handwriting on the wall, that it can't continue with leaders leading us that do not have the best interest of all of humanity at heart. It can't be greed, greed, greed. It can't be what's in it for me. It can't be about control. It can't be about ego gratification. These things are things that we have to relinquish, and we have to realize that we were tricked, we were fooled, we were cajoled. Whatever word you want to use, they fed us a line of BS, and we bought it, and most people on the planet are still buying it. But a greater and greater number are waking up, and hopefully some of these new technologies and some of the things that need to happen to unseat the powers that have been will happen so that we can move more quickly. I mean, again, I have people tell me it's going to take decades, if not longer, to actually turn things around. Well, as long as we keep dragging it out, and I know I've said this before in other videos, but as long as we keep dragging it out, it will keep persisting. They will keep finding other ways to stay in control and maintain control. We've got to remove the idea that people have the right to control, that beings have the right to control other beings. We don't have the right. Only if harm is actually done. That's the only law. Do no harm, basically. It's love one another, but it's do no harm. That's the negative application of love one another. We don't harm those that we actually love. And it's all based on harm. It's all based on getting, money, 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 and showing who's the boss. Well, who is the boss? Who is the boss of your life? Who is the boss of my life? I want for my life for it to be me. I want to be in charge, and I want to dedicate my life to what I believe the Creator intended, what I believe has been written on the fleshy tables of my heart and has come down to me from many, many sources, but especially internal. This is what Anastasia again emphasizes. It's about listening to the heart. It's about the feelings. It's not the intellect that leads, it's the feelings that lead. Now, I know intellectuals won't like that, but that's the more pure guidance system. Listening to that still small voice, tuning out the cacophony of ideas that has been put forth as a control grid in our religions, in our politics, in our even our science has been jaded, and they do not allow inventions that would stop the monetary system of control. I mean, the Kesh Foundation, I mean, some people say he's full of crap, and others buy into it. I want to see. I mean, I'm reserving judgment. I want to see what this thing actually does, and I want to see if I can make my car run without putting gasoline in it. I mean, that would be a real boon. I want to see if I can heat and power my house without being on the grid. I mean, that would be a tremendous upliftment for not only for me, but for humanity, if this is true, and if we can disseminate it for the betterment of mankind, so that we can be free of the cabal and stop the tricking and actually get to the treat where we can experience the fullness of what we were created to be without hindrances, without obstacles in our way that prevent us from becoming all that we were created to be. And especially, sorry, got one of the hairs from my mustache, I guess, came down into my mouth. Anyway, I want to really emphasize the importance of not giving in to the alternatives that keep the cabal in power. We must get new leadership that's honest, leadership that has the best intentions for all of humanity and understands that freedom is really the goal of creation, because if we're free, we can be released from the bondages that keep us from creating the better world that we deserve, where we can really be treated well. But we need to start by treating ourselves well and each other well. Thank you for listening, and namaste.